Okay, today's episode is inspired by last week's episode. Can you guess what?
Food, money,
And friendship! That's what we should talk about.
Oh.
Food, money, and friendship.
Okay.
You're listening to...
Jom Sembang, Malaysia.
Okay, so I don't know about you, right? 10 years ago at least, what I really felt is I was not earning as much money as my friends. Or rather, I might earn as much as them or they earn more than me. But I wasn't a person who spent a lot of money.
Okay.
So like my friends would be like, okay, the first 2 years of their job, then they buy a car and then they rent a bigger room or a bigger house and all that.
Yeah.
So all the money that they spend goes to that. So I have more money spent than them because I don't spend on those kind of things, right? Okay. So I remember going out and all that. I'm very, low maintenance lah, you know me lah. I go out, sit mama, sit cafe and all those things, which is totally fine. So with this bunch of friends, I work quite well lah.
Okay.
And then along the way, then I met some very well-to-do friends.
Okay.
Like super rich. Maybe their parents are super rich. So no matter what they earn, they really have more than enough money to spend lah. Before they even earn, right? So these are the friends that like every time I go out, right, they go to like expensive places, cafes that eat stuff that you normally think twice before spending. So for example, like I don't mind going to a cafe and spend 30 ringgit. But their go-to cafe is at least 100 ringgit one.
Wow.
That kind of things. And then I find normally when you gather with your friends, right?
Yeah.
And then you eat, right? I think 90% of the time is we just split the bill lah.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you go to that kind of cafe that you know that you can afford, right? You're trying to order the lowest thing and they're trying to order the highest thing and then they add on, right? And then they share platter, right? And then after you realize, even if you split the bill, you still feel the pinch.
Yes. Actually, for me, I'm even more cheapskate than you. For me, 30 ringgit is like, okay lah, special lah. But if it's like just simply, right, I'd be like, huh?
I cannot. So for me, like that time, if I go out with them dinner or whatever, 30, 40 max. But then I realized we are always splitting the bill and it's always like 60 ringgit or 70 ringgit per person. You know, the bill is always end up like 200 or something. Plus coffee lah. Plus coffee and tea, that kind of thing. And I thought that, cannot lah. So if I meet with them all the time, I cannot lah. my wallet really suffered that kind of feel. And then I reached this dilemma, which is what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you want to hang out with your friend, but you don't want to hang out the way they hang out because they spend 3 times more than you.
Yeah.
But if you don't hang out, then they start to like, hey, why you don't hang out with me lah? But you know that kind of dilemma. Then how do you manage this situation?
Okay, firstly, I think it's fair to pay what you eat lah. I mean, okay, so when I go out with my friends, normally it's like, okay, we see the menu and then what you order, right? You kind of know how much is the whatever. So whoever like pays for the full deal, then you kind of like reimburse for your portion lah. You know?
Okay, fair.
No need to count receipt lah. Maybe you just top up a little bit for tax and everything.
Yep.
I think that's fair, right? So if at that point of time you don't feel like, oh, today I'm not going to spend on unagi or you know the more expensive things, then I might go for something simpler and I still get to hang out with my friends. But okay, maybe sometimes my friends very nice lah. You know, the ones who are earning more and maybe have a little bit less financial responsibilities.
Okay, fair enough.
They might just, nama today I treat, take the whole bill, but you don't take it for granted.
Yes, yes. But I only have that kind of dilemma is when we try to split the bill and say, okay lah, this one we buy and share. Like, let's order a share dish and another share dish or a cake. That little bit of share dish here and then does amount to quite a bit.
But doesn't that reflect on the friendship? Friendship is about understanding. Friendship is about knowing one another.
I find it not all the time that people are aware whether you can afford. I mean, because to them it's quite normal already. So never run across their mind that you are feeling the pinch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think it is just pure unawareness or is because we tend to be, I don't know, driving the same car, speak the same language, not the language, but in the same circle, and then you just think that, okay, everybody in my circle is going to be earning the same amount of
maybe. But from my experience, I find that mostly it's unaware. Because when I start to like, maybe after a few times, like I really feel the pinch, then I was like, hey, actually, can we go to somewhere else, or can we go somewhere cheaper, or I choose the place.
Yeah.
And then they start to realize something is a bit
Right.
different. Or like when I go and then they say, okay, after this we go coffee and cakes after meal.
Yeah.
And then when I reach coffee and cake, they're like, oh, you have coffee and cake? I quite full already.
Right.
You know, if you do it a few times, then they go like, if something is missing, then like you say lah, those who are quite, they understand one, they'll say, okay lah, we just share the cakes or something like that, or coffee is on me. But there are some that if they keep paying, then you feel bad.
Yes.
Then you feel like, should I hang out? Or after they think that I keep hang out, and then they always pay also, like, you know, you don't want to put them in a situation as well. Yeah, so that is like, I remember the last 10 years, there are quite a few times that I come across this situation lah. You know, that even if my friend said they pay for me, it's like, how many unagi can you pay for me?
Correct.
Without me feeling bad. One time, okay, it's a treat.
Yeah.
2 times, by 4 times, a bit like, macam mana ni, you know?
Okay, so a thought just crossed my mind, okay? And I've wondered about this a few times. Okay, so there is a mindset, or whether you call it a value or whatever it is, that if you're hardworking, or if you need to put in the work to earn the money, correct?
Correct.
Which is correct lah. I also agree with that. And therefore, if you don't have enough, then it's your fault lah, because you never put in the work to earn the money lah.
Correct.
Okay. But let's say me or whoever lah, okay, the simple man on the street, are quite happy living with a lower cost of living.
Okay.
Okay, and so I'm earning XX amount of ringgit, and I'm happy to spend my meals at 12 ringgit a day.
Okay.
Not a meal.
meal, okay.
Yeah, they can already, right?
Can. two menu rama.
Yeah, and then just one for breakfast, just drink milk or something. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I'm happy to spend 12 ringgit on a meal. But when you're going out with friends, then it feels like you are pulling the bar or whatever it is down. And sometimes I do wonder whether people would like, hiya, these people, that's why lah, I don't want to work, or keep on doing social work, or, you know, having this, what's the word, altruistic view of things, of life. And let's say you want to go out and eat with friends also cannot. And then you mean now I have to treat you. I just wonder
But
sometimes.
I sometimes tell them, okay lah, we can hang out, let's hang out the mama. But if the fact that you don't want to hang out mama, and I can only afford hang out mama, then what happens? What happens to the friendship? You know? If you hang out with Gina go picnic under the tree in the park, you know, and make your own sandwiches, then like what? I mean, I think once off is fine, but friendships are not once off. And you tend to have that kind of situation quite often lah. Yeah, so that's something that I've always think about and wonder what people think about.
Okay, but disclaimer lah. Okay, so I am fine with splurging every now and then. On my own, I won't. But if I'm out with friends, I don't mind. Sometimes I do look at the bill and go like, really? Spend that kind of money on food? But for the sake of the fellowship, I would lah. So you're paying not so much for the food, but for the
Correct. For the people who are eating with you.
The people and the experience lah. Yeah.
Okay, that's very cool. We'll take a break.
Yep.
But this week got no sponsor. Because haven't found a friend that has money that... I don't know. We just don't have a sponsor for this episode, I think. Yeah.
Because friends and money are a difficult topic.
I guess so.
Okay, back from the non-commercial. We are talking about friends and food and money. Lifestyle differences.
So I have this friend. I know that she might be struggling financially sometimes. Right. Okay, but I realized that no matter how she struggles, she will, let's say, save on a lot of areas, but she don't save on food.
Oh, yes.
So I thought like, it's a bit interesting lah. She tell me no money, and then after that she will buy maybe pizza with extra toppings. Then you're like, hey? That kind of things. And I remember talking to her about it, like, you know, if you actually spend lesser on food, then your other parts of your life might be more balanced and you don't struggle, that kind of thing, you know. And then she's like, yes and no lah. Sometimes I'm more willing to spend on food. But they come to another friend where we talk about this, then she's like, actually, I only spend money when I go out on weekends.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like, okay, I might be like struggling the Monday to Friday a bit more thrifty or whatever, then I just spend on weekends.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I only spend when I go out with people. That's why if you ask me like you lah, I won't go to a cafe and have a 25 ringgit meal on my own. It's like, But if I go with my friends, then okay lah.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of feeling. So I have a friend where both of us are like that. So when we meet, right, we already know like, okay, we probably have eaten bread and whatever, like the cheaper stuff the whole week. And then when we meet, okay, let's go for Korean barbecue. Like,
right. Because it's the weekend. It's your splurge day anyway.
Macam kita ni orang kaya. But then when we eat, we really like treasure the meal because we know you pay for it lah. So that also makes the selection of food a bit more picky.
Yes, I know that feeling.
It's like I'm going to spend 30 ringgit. I might as well spend it on food that I like and enjoy and proven worth it kind of thing.
Yes.
And not something that you go like, this 30 ringgit is not well spent.
So I have that too. Pet peeves, right? If you like spend a lot of money already on food and then it's like not nice, you're like, what?
Correct.
And then the other thing is like you spend a lot of calories already on particular food and it's not nice. It's like, what?
Exactly.
It's got to be worth, the calorie intake and the money.
But I have to say that the current food that's available in Klang Valley, I think people open up cafes or restaurants a little bit too easily now.
Okay.
I mean, I judge it based on the fact that open and 1 year later they are gone. Okay. And these are the people with now that food prices have increased.
Yes.
You want to try restaurant baru or cafe baru, you also was.
Oh.
For me lah, I'm like, I don't mind supporting a new cafe leh, but I pay so expensive, then the food sucks. And then how many cafe can I try before I find one that is that I enjoy? So chances of me going back to the same F&B outlet is quite high, so that I know that I will feel satisfied when I spend the money.
Guarantee lah.
Correct.
Food taste guarantee. Yeah, that is true.
So maybe that also contributes to the whole new cafes dying lah. I don't know. Some of them are really horrible. Some of them are
but
not.
there are people who will jump onto the next new thing very quickly. They'll try. So it doesn't have to be people who secara was not secara was, but spend very waspada like. But for those who like eat memang macam ni every day, so they just want to try something new lah.
Yeah, so they can try and next, and then they try the next because they can afford to next.
Yeah, that is true.
But yeah, those are some things that I find does affect friendship. I mean, even if it doesn't affect the friendship, it will take a long time for you to discover why it doesn't affect the friendship. The initial stage of tiffing of like, why?
But here's the thing. Friendships are often formed over food, right? I mean, when do you sit down and chit-chat about life? It's over food. So it's kind of ironic, don't you think?
You see, money, food and friendship, but okay, let's remove food.
Okay.
So your friends want to go on holiday. Your idea for holiday is 80 ringgit a night is, nice really. Theirs is like, 80 ringgit is too cheap, 200 ringgit is my normal. And then they get to a big giant hotel with, then how do you solve
Then
that?
you stay here, I stay across the road.
So it's like before you always start already, so-called disagreement or something. It happens. Maybe because last time I worked in a bank, then when I left the bank, a lot of the managers have become vice president or whatever in the bank.
Okay.
So they earn quite a lot of money. So every time I say, hey Gina, we go for a road trip, I actually like, yay and nay. Like yay, you can go off, like take a break or something. But nay in the sense that I know the cara is not my cara.
Betul?
Yeah. Or sometimes they are quite honest. So we have tried a few things that really work. Because there are friends who complain like, the other girl never pay money, always never pay money. She will avoid or whatever. Like you pay first or whatever and never pay back and stuff like that. Yeah. So there was 1 or 2 road trip that what my girlfriends and I did was we put money in the pool.
Okay, yes.
So it's like everybody before we leave the place, put 200 ringgit and when we eat or whatever is there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then kalau tak cukup then top up.
Then we top up. So that's when it gives a chance to people who are a little bit more affordable. I pay for this meal, no need to take from the pool. So then it doesn't give you the awkward feeling.
Right.
Like, am I eating for free again? But I really can't afford it. You get it? So I find that really solved a lot of my this group of girlfriends lah that I have lah. That I thought like, for once we travel and there is no all this small little feeling like someone is not ordering coffee. Is she really don't want coffee or cannot afford coffee? That totally remove
Wow.
the as long as nobody take advantage of it lah.
But also, I think it's finding the commonalities, right? So, I mean, of course, I've got friends who cherish different things also lah.
Correct.
For me, it doesn't have to be a fancy hotel or whatever. But janji, you know me, right? Toilet mesti bersih kan? Toilet kalau boleh ada partition dry dengan wet. So for me, that is basic. That one. If the room is like okay lah, of course it would be nice if it was affordable and also clean and fresh. But not everywhere you can get like that lah kan? So,
Correct.
but my basic minimum is that. And then you would know lah, other friends yang basic minimum macam mana, or your maximum. And then you kind of like, you know, where the circles converge
Correct.
is where you would find that sweet spot lah. And then I suppose if it's friends who you just don't go out on road trips with because they're totally different. Like I like the outdoors and like my entire family does not.
Different league.
Yeah, they wouldn't go like trekking, you know. So then I have different circles to go trekking with lah. You know, if I go holiday means it's different, or you'll go Airbnb, you know, that kind of place.
Yeah. But yeah lah, I think with the current era, with things moving so fast, the gap between the middle class and the lower class and higher class is so much bigger. This will ultimately become an issue.
Yeah, we even have names for ourselves now.
Like,
There you have the B40, the what, C what, and the M what. I can't even remember, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm under B40, you know.
So right, sometimes I think, hey, this year I'm B40 kan. But because I'm a director of my company kan.
They're not qualified to be
That's
B40.
the thing. That's like, huh?
Yeah, I so totally understand that. Because I remember during the first year of pandemic, I got the money aid because I'm B40. Then after when the second round, they detected that, hey, you're the director of a company, then you no longer get. But you see, I was only a director of a company, so the company can run. The company is an NGO, it's not, it won't earning money.
Correct.
So-
Social enterprise.
Yeah, so I'm like,
yeah.
yeah.
So it just shows that what you think is B40 might not be. I mean, people that you think are not B40 could also be B40. Or vice versa, right? Just
Yes.
because, is the uncle at the kopitiam, he might be like 10 times richer than most of us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think moving forward, knowing that these kind of things will start to influence our life, we should be more open with our friends lah.
Yeah, we all go and eat
Have a
manure.
chit-chat. Yeah. Chit-chat lah. Or if we are the affordable one, be a little bit more understanding, you know. If you really want someone to join you in some expensive cafe, you
Yeah.
pandai-pandai lah.
But I think these are also things that make for good friendships, you know, talking about how's your income doing. Like I remember a few times my godma would ask me, you know, how are you doing financially? Are you okay? Or, you know, because she also sees that, you know, people who do a lot of social work, right? Then they also get worried. But do you think there are people who do social work who already have the money in the bank and therefore they can afford to do it?
Yeah.
And there's others who are making a living out of doing other things, and then in the meantime you're doing this which is not earning any income. So yeah, so I remember my godma would ask, and every time she asked, I actually felt very loved. Again, there's a different way of asking lah.
How much you earn is not the way to asking.
It's like, hey, you do this, can earn money or not? I get asked like that too, and it's quite offensive because for me, not everything is about money. But I remember the way she would ask, right? It was like, hey, you're just asking, financially, you're okay, everything's okay. Then you know it's coming from a caring
Yeah.
place, and if you actually were not in a healthy spot, then they would, I don't know, help you out from advice or whatever lah, you know.
But I think that's a good idea. It's a good thing to ask, especially now post-pandemic. Things have changed. People lost job, lose job, got job, new job.
True.
And you might not see it when they're struggling lah.
Correct. And they might have had, you know, expenses, responsibilities before, and then if
Correct.
their job had changed now, or they've taken a pay cut or whatever, just change, you know, you pivot and you new season in life.
Yeah.
But you still have to pay for those
Correct.
responsibilities lah. So
That's a good tip. Let's end with that good tip. So you guys don't go and ask your friend, hey, got enough to makan ah? Not like that lah, okay?
Yeah.
Ask in a tactful way. Because there is a friend that I just chat with 2 days ago. She's quite wealthy. And then she'll say, I'm busy helping all the community out there. Feed the poor. Because she really has that heart. And then she said, recently I found out I don't help my friends because my friends never tell me. I'm busy helping the outside people to survive, but my friends are struggling and starving and they don't tell me.
Yeah.
And she was so upset about it. She's like, I feel like I'm such a failure when I'm helping outside that, but my close friends are starving and they don't tell me.
Right.
So yes, please go ask your friend, how are you doing today?
So on that note, we're signing off.
Yes, we are.
So yeah, go have a nice deep conversation with a friend.
Yeah, don't be like my friend who's been helping out others, not realizing her closest friends need help. Jom Sembang Malaysia is hosted by two Malaysian friends who are passionate about Malaysian stuff.
Stay tuned every week for a brand new Sembang session with Juwita Suito and Gina Yap Layong.